haven't y'all tried miracle food yet?
Miracle food.
Mega food.
Miracle foods.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Please support your Black businesses and support your health. This is a tool to genuinely heal people. It's through the roof. I feel like I'm low-key levitating in this bitch. This should be in your cabinets.
Oh, got it.
Things. You gotta learn them all to be great. Talk about being a woman in hip hop and your journey thus far in that. Obviously, we see a genre of women in hip hop where it's very different than even the style that you deliver. So talk about your journey as a woman in hip hop, as a Black woman in particular in hip hop.
Well, for me, like because of the lane that I choose, it's a little harder because it's not like what female rappers now. It's not really what's being pushed to the forefront. So yeah, it's a little harder for me, and I think also with me being a Black female rapper too as well. A dark skin, if I want to be specific, like a dark skinned female rapper. It's been some struggles, but for me, I've always let my talent be my mouthpiece. So, you know, for me, yeah, it's some challenges with it, but at the end of the day, like for me, I'm not trying to be the richest, nor am I trying to have the most hits. For me, at the end of the day, I just want to go down as and get my respect for what my pen does and my talent and the work that I put out.
Right. I heard you telling a story on a previous interview. You were actually talking about, you taking a leap of faith. I guess you was talking about working a few jobs. You really took your leap of faith in the music. It obviously was a good choice now, but what made you say, you know what, let me just jump all the way into this thing? Because at the time you're talking about you didn't have a savings and nothing like that. So what made you just jump all the way into music and just jump in the water?
At the time, I just kind of had a feeling the way things was going. I was riding to Rochester to a studio to record like verses that I was doing for Trust Tape 3, and Special was doing the beats for Thriller the Hunt 2, and I was going up there writing and recording my verses. I was doing this like every other day. And Rochester like an hour away from Buffalo. So I'm driving up there like every other day doing this. I'm in a studio knocking out like 4 to 5 songs a session. Like I did so many verses, I don't even think all them shits came out. And when we finally finished Thriller the Hunt 2, we started shooting videos, and I just seen how much at the time, how much time Special was putting behind Thriller the Hunt 2 for me to push me. And just how he had built the momentum up to that, like, just giving me the proper rollout, getting me, verses on Trust Tape 3 with Benny, him and Benny being on the same songs as I'm rapping and giving me the last verse, giving me opportunities, giving me a platform. And I was like, there's no way with him doing as much as this man believes in me that I'm not going to pop. I just had a feeling some shit was going to happen. And, I was right. So like, as soon as I quit my job, we had a show at Drum in New York, and we sold that out. And it seemed like after that, this was like a little right after Thriller the Hunt 2 came out. After that, things just started taking off for me.
Right. And you talk also about, I think making, I don't know when it was, but you made 10,000. You said the first thing you invested in was a studio. How's that paid off for you?
Oh yeah, it went beautiful. Like it's that was the first thing I spent my money on, was getting a studio, because that's what I was struggling with beforehand. It's hard to get in studios in Buffalo. There's no studio bars. So every time they open a studio, the shit gets shut down.
The streets know you. The streets love you. The streets know who you are, and they know you spit and you got bars. What were some of the feedback you got from record execs though? You said that it's been a struggle for you being a Black woman in particular, darker skinned Black woman. I'm curious to know, if you don't mind sharing, some of the things, the feedback you got that may have been hurdles that you feel like were hurdles in your career.
Really, I think a lot of it was just like I would sit down in some meetings. I would hear a lot of like, okay, the numbers not being maybe what my peers were doing, whether it's vinyl sales, it could be anything, like just numbers, streams, whatever. I sat in a meeting when I was out in LA, and I think at the time a lot of it had to do with my numbers. I've even heard some things about the look I'm going for, like the look that I put out there. Um, I'm not the most glammed up because, like I said, my talent displays. I've never cared about shit like that anyway. But like my talent, I let my talent display anything before you even see what you're looking at. But I've heard different things. And I know a lot. I even heard even a lot to do with my numbers got to do with me being a woman, compared to my peers. So yeah, just different things like that. I would say in the beginning, it's opening up a little more, but it's still things that I struggle with me being a woman.
Do you think if you did subject yourself to taking your clothes off and doing things on camera that some of the more famous female artists are doing, that you'd be in a more successful lane right now?
Not now that I've already portrayed to my fan base, I've given them who I am.
Yeah.
Doing that wouldn't make no sense. Hell no. I take a L on that. That's a difference if I came out displaying myself as that, but I didn't come out like that. So
good for you. Respect for you for that.
Yeah, and your lyrics is definitely different. To talk about some of the people in the game that you respect lyrically, at least women at least.
Yeah, I like Cyrock. I like Rhapsody, of course. I like Love the Genius. I like Armani Caesar. I like Brittany Carter. She from out in Chicago. That's all I could think of right now, like the ones that's on my radar that I've actually listened to.
Did you do anything with Armani yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
She could spit too. Buffalo, y'all representing well out there for female hip hop.
No,
definitely are. Talk about your album that you did in 2020 as God Intended with Apollo Brown. Talk about the direction behind that. You had a lot of different styles and sounds on that. And if I'm not mistaken, you worked with Black Thought on that album too. Talk about that.
So for the Apollo album, Apollo hit me after Thriller the Hunt 2 came out. And that's why I say like that album was the bridge to a lot of projects that I have out now. But that was the bridge way to the Apollo album was Thriller the Hunt 2, because he heard that and was a fan instantly and hit me up on Instagram. And at the time when he hit me up, I didn't know, like I thought he was just trying to do a song together, but he told me, no, I'm trying to do a whole album. We talked on the phone for a little bit. Couple months went by and he had sent me a pack. Like it was 15 beats, but he sent 5 at a time. And I knocked off 5 of them out. I wrote them all at home. And I flew out to Detroit. This was like March of 2020. Flew out there. We recorded all 15 of the songs in like 3 days. Knocked them all out. Came back. And that's when everything shut down. Like literally the day I landed back in Buffalo, that next morning they shut everything. They started shutting everything down and gave everybody a curfew. So when they shut things down, we had a whole different release date planned and everything for the album. A lot of that had kind of got messed up. Like it was a lot of stuff that we had planned for the album that got messed up because of COVID, of course. As you can see, there's no videos even shot for the album because of COVID. But I was a little worried because we had some people in mind to put on the album, but people were, because everything was shut, things were getting shut down. People had problems getting into studios. But I can't remember how they said it ended up happening, but just out of nowhere, Black Thought hit me up on Instagram and told me he heard the song. And told me that he was about to do a verse. He was about to hop on it. And he was like, yo, you killed it. I'm about to hop on it right now. And we, talked a little bit back and forth. And I got his verse back and I just went crazy. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. This is my time now. This is it. So, a few months, the single came out. And then a few months after that, the album came out and shit took off.
Hell yeah.
Right. So what's next for you? What do you have planned now? I know they're talking about possibly another shutdown, which, I know everybody's probably hoping that don't happen. But what's next for you and the brand? Where you guys move in the next few months to years?
Right now, we're planning a trust tour.
Gucci show. To introduce the show, when I sent this to Sam, asked, oh God, that nigga said, oh God, you the man, Cass. I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler. I could stand out on the beach and sell sandbags. Some things can't last, but this ain't just a podcast. This is Sam Ant and Oh Godcast. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam Ant riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam Ant riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.